Hi, my name is Alyssa London. I live in Anchorage, Alaska, and for a living, I am a youth and female empowerment speaker. My business is Culture Story, and we create culture dolls, and our vision is to create culture dolls from different cultures around the world in order to celebrate diversity in our very globalized world today. And so that little girls can grow up being very proud of who they are and where they come from. Because there's a lack of diversity in the doll market today, and we want to change that. Culture Story is willing to give up 20% of the company for $100,000. We are at the customer validation stage of the company, and so this valuation comes from the fact that we see that there is demand in the market for culture dolls based on the feedback that we've gotten when we presented the culture doll concept and the robe for Barbie at the Reservation Economics Summit, which is the National Center of American Indian Economic Development Conference. I know that's a mouthful. We were approached by minority suppliers from Walmart, and they said they were interested in carrying the culture doll line. So what is so unique about Culture Story's culture dolls is that the doll itself is actually based on an actual individual's culture story. Typically, dolls are based off of just stereotype. The dolls are not actually based off of an actual individual's identity. And also, we're not just a doll company. The dolls are a means to be able to communicate the culture stories from around the world, and these are just a vehicle to that, and also a vehicle to be able to touch young girls' lives and help them grow with confidence from a young age. Because the story is going to come from the individual, and that's what's going to influence what our product actually looks like and what the product packaging will look like. This has my culture story, which influenced this first creation. And similarly, the packaging for future products will also have a lot of storytelling aspects to it as well. So that's our differentiation. People will feel they must have our product because in talking to parents, moms and dads about the dolls that are available on the market today, they are not able to find a doll that helps their daughters and their sons better understand the different cultures around the world, better understand the diversity of the world that they're growing up in today, and that they're also not able to find dolls that look like their son or daughter. I actually envision that we don't just focus on making girl dolls. Let's make some boy dolls too that aren't just Ken. So people are going to want to buy the dolls because they're going to be able to give the gift to their child and be able to say, look, it looks just like you, or look, you can learn about this girl in your class or this boy in your class. It's going to help their child better understand the very diverse world they're going to grow up in today. And that's why people are going to buy this product. So our product is not patented, but Culture Story is a trademark that I've actually attained, and that's because we're building a brand, and the brand itself is what's going to propel the sale of the products. The development of my business at this time we're in customer validation stage. So I've made one product, the Killer Whale gown for Barbie, that I successfully have been selling, but I bootstrapped that, and therefore I didn't make a ton of units. The way that our product works currently is that somebody who already has a Barbie doll is able to purchase our Killer Whale robe for Barbie and this gown that goes under it and put it on their own Barbie doll. And that's great because then they're able to make their pre-existing doll cultural and celebrate their, at least in this case, Tlingit culture, which is from Southeast Alaska. But what we actually want to do and create is culture dolls that actually emulate the appearance of somebody from the Tlingit tribe, or somebody from the Navajo tribe, or somebody who is very mixed. So the way that our Culture Story is different than other doll companies is we are not creating a generic doll based on the stereotype of what a little girl or a little boy looks like. We're actually going to create dolls that are based off of an individual's culture story. So that means how they're deciding to tell the story of who they are and where they come from. And then we're also creating a media platform that goes along with each doll. So it's more about the narrative and much less about the product itself. And so that's why we are different than, say, American Girl doll or Mattel's Barbie, is because we're going to emulate the dolls off of an individual more closely with them and not just make it a generic representation of somebody's culture, the way that American Girl doll does and the way that Barbie's Mattel does pretty repeatedly. And because actually when you do that, when you just make a stereotype about someone's culture, it's called cultural appropriation. and that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to actually educate people about different cultures in conjunction with a person from that culture versus just make a sweeping generalization from what we see from the outside. So my aha moment had to be at Miss USA. I was Miss Alaska USA 2017, and what I wanted to do with my platform that year was to showcase the vitality and the beauty of the culture that I'm from, which is the Tlingit culture of Southeast Alaska. And so how I chose to do that was to use my moment in the spotlight to wear a killer whale robe over my evening gown. The gown went viral on Facebook with 1.2 million people reached, and then that gown became Gown of the Year at the Global Beauty Awards, and then it also is on exhibit at my tribe's museum, the Soboleff Center in Southeast Alaska. So I was like, there's something to this. People like this message because it's clearly not just the gown. All the girls have pretty gowns. And so this is an extension of wanting to continue to communicate this message with the world. Culture Story came out of the aha moment of wanting to continue to spread this message of inclusivity and celebration of diversity, and helping young girls feel proud of who they are and where they come from a young age. So between creating the 30 prototypes that I ended up selling and the marketing involved and the e-commerce Shopify website that I put up and the purchasing of the domains, all the nitty-gritty, I've put in $2,500 so far into my business. And that's what I was able to bootstrap, and you gotta start somewhere. What my business Culture Story means to me is the ability to touch a lot of little girls' lives from a young age and help them grow up to feel that they are empowered women, because when a little girl grows up feeling proud of who she is and where she comes from, she has a strong identity, and that leads to greater confidence when she grows up. It also allows parents to have conversations with their boys and girls using the dolls that they're playing with about different cultures around the world, so they can grow up actually understanding that diversity is beautiful, and therefore we can have a world in the future that is more accepting of people from all different cultures around the world. Something interesting about myself was that I was Miss Alaska USA 2017, and I placed top 10 at Miss USA by carrying this message of inclusivity and being proud of who you are and where you come from. That formed the foundation of my business and what I am striving to do with the brand. Something else interesting, I'm from the Tlingit tribe, so Tlingit Ayahut, that's a tribe from Southeast Alaska. I graduated from Stanford University with a degree in comparative studies in race and ethnicity, which caused me to travel abroad for the first time. I went to Madrid, Spain for a semester, and that kicked off my love of travel, which I really think is just my love of experiencing other cultures around the world. And since then, I've been to 30 countries. So I think with that information about my background, you can tell why I'm interested in starting a company that's all about telling stories of cultures. My biggest challenge so far in starting Culture Story is I'm learning as I go. I am looking forward to gaining the mentorship from somebody who's been there, done that, so that I can then pay that forward in the future and help another woman grow her business and become the entrepreneur that she dreams of becoming. So it's not bad to learn as you go, but it's definitely challenging and be a little easier to learn from somebody who has been there, done that. I'm excited to continue with the journey and learn as I go.